elderly people worry about the most before they pass away? Do you know? Let me tell you a story. After you hear it, you will understand. It is said that, in the early years, there was a family with the surname Zhou. The old couple passed away early, leaving 3 brothers to depend on each other. The eldest and the second brother had both married and had children. At that time, people valued living as a big family, and the brothers had not yet separated households. The eldest brother's wife and the second brother's wife got along quite well, living in harmony. But when the third brother also got married, things became different. Why? This new third wife, relying on the fact that her family gave some dowry, was unwilling to eat from the same pot with everyone and only wanted to split out and live her own life. Once she had this thought, she kept whispering in the third brother's ear every day, "Look, the money, the grain, the house, everything in the family is managed by your elder brothers. How much income there is, how much is spent, we have no idea. It all depends on what they say. If they say they spent 1 tael but actually spent 10 taels, or say 10 taels but actually spent 100 taels, wouldn't we be completely kept in the dark and suffer a big loss?" She continued, "As the old saying goes, no banquet lasts forever. Don't wait until the family really declines, and when it's time to split, your elder brothers already have their pockets full, while we, being the youngest, end up empty-handed, with nothing, left only to suffer. In my opinion, it's better to take advantage of the fact that the family still has assets now, divide everything into 3 parts, and each live our own lives, managing our own small household. That way is more secure." This third wife kept repeating these words in front of her husband every day. The third brother listened, and gradually felt it made sense, so he agreed to split the family. Then he brought the matter to his elder brothers. At first, the eldest and second brothers truly did not want to split. The 3 brothers had grown up together, and their bond was deep. But they couldn't withstand the constant urging and quarrels from the third brother and his wife. With no other choice, they finally agreed. On the day of dividing the family, relatives and elders were invited as witnesses. The eldest brother divided everything in the household, money, property, farmland, into 3 equal parts. Not a bit more, not a bit less, all calculated clearly. But after all the dividing, one thing was left over, the large redbud tree in the yard. This tree was not ordinary. It had been planted by their father together with the 3 brothers. Over the years, it had grown lush and flourishing. Now that they were splitting the family, they all felt troubled standing before the tree. How could one tree be divided? It carried their shared memories. None of them wanted to give it up. But for fairness, they had no choice. In the end, they decided to cut the tree into 3 pieces of wood. That night, the 3 brothers agreed under the tree that early the next morning they would cut it together. The next morning, the eldest called his brothers and brought axes to cut the tree. But when they arrived, they were shocked. The tree that had been lush and green yesterday had, overnight, completely withered. Its leaves drooped, and the trunk had lost all vitality. The whole tree looked dead. Seeing this, the eldest brother burst into tears. The second and third brothers were stunned and asked, "Brother, it's just a tree. Why are you crying like this?" The eldest raised his head, looked at the sky, and sighed deeply. "Sometimes people are not as sensible as a tree. I'm not crying for the tree. I'm thinking about the 3 of us brothers." Pointing at the tree, he said with a choked voice, "We 3, born of the same parents, are like this tree. Every branch and leaf grows from one root, connected together. The root gives rise to the trunk to the branches, and the branches to the leaves. That is how it flourishes. But now we plan to cut it into 3 parts. The tree can't bear being separated, so it died overnight. If we truly split the family, won't we end up like this tree, withering and declining? How could we ever prosper again? I cry because we brothers are not even as wise as a tree." After hearing what the eldest brother said, every word struck the hearts of the second and third brothers. Thinking again about their brotherly bond, they were deeply moved by their elder brother's sincerity, and tears streamed down their faces. They said with tears, "Big brother, could it be that we are really not even as good as a tree?" Thinking of this, the 3 brothers could no longer hold back. They embraced each other and burst into tears. One after another, they said, "We won't split anymore. This family will not be divided. We will continue living together." The 3 wives inside the house heard the loud crying outside and quickly ran out to see what happened. Seeing the scene and after hearing the whole story, they understood that the brothers were crying because they could not bear to separate. The eldest and second wives immediately said, "Not splitting is good. Not splitting is good. Let's continue living together, lively and happily." What was most unexpected was that even the third brother's wife, who had insisted on splitting before, was now moved by their deep affection. Her heart softened, and she also said, "All right, we won't split anymore. Let's all live together." What happened next was even more amazing. After the three brothers decided not to split, that redbud tree, which had already withered, after some days, unexpectedly, it slowly came back to life. Not only did it grow new green leaves again, it became even more lush and more flourishing than before. Friends, after hearing this story, do you also feel deeply moved? Whether when parents are alive or after they have passed away, what they worry about the most is the bond between their children. In our lives, we have also seen many cases. Some siblings grow distant halfway through life. Why? Maybe because of disputes over who took more or less care of the parents, or because of arguments over dividing property, splitting houses, which create conflicts and leave knots in the heart. In serious cases, they may even fight, becoming like enemies and never speak to each other again. But when the day comes that their own hair has turned gray and look back at the lively days when siblings were together, they will feel deep regret. So, no matter when, brothers and sisters are still family. Even if you suffer a little loss, it doesn't matter. Whether brothers or sisters, this bond exists in this life only. There will be no other chance in the next life. So cherish it while you can. Today, the fact that you could hear this story is also a kind of fate. I sincerely wish that your family will have kind parents and filial children, harmony among siblings, mutual respect between husband and wife, and a harmonious family that prospers for generations.